talent is one more NFL schedule, and of course, it involves my Jets. No, this is not an Aaron Rodgers topic. The Jets open the season hosting, you guessed it, the Pittsburgh Steelers, who may or may not have Aaron Rodgers under center. There are some pundits out there who say, listen, the NFL wouldn't do this without automatically knowing that Rodgers is coming back. Justin Fields, of course, played for the Steelers last year. Rodgers played for the Jets last year. So that is kind of a fun, spicy matchup. Now, the NFL did something kind of funny here. The Steelers have a Sunday night football matchup against the Green Bay Packers. Assuming Rodgers comes back, of course. Now, if he's not there, that's a garbage matchup. But this Steelers schedule is not good. And I mean, I'm not going out on a limb here. They ain't making the playoffs.
No.
I don't care if Rodgers shows up. I don't care if Tom Brady suits up. They're not making the playoffs.
Well, people want to make predictions with Aaron, but Aaron is his own guy, right? He's on his own island doing his own thing. I mean, he's told Adam Schefter, lose my number. Like, he doesn't want to be predictable. And I was thinking about this because everybody's absolutely sure that he's going to Pittsburgh. The Rooneys have said it. There's this sense that he would go, and he may. I have no insight. But my take is with Aaron is once he commits, because of the pushback the last several years, he's going to commit and be around the team a lot. And so when the season ended, basically, Aaron just, nobody knows where he is. Malibu, training, and wherever he's training. And so I do think if Aaron comes back, he'll make a point with DK Metcalf and Arthur Smith. It's not a familiar offense to him. I think Aaron, when he comes back, will be totally committed. But I am not. And I say this. What is the one thing I kept mentioning during Aaron's offseason? Until the Brock Purdy contract is signed, I think maybe just in Aaron's head, he's thinking, well, if he doesn't move off $58 million large, I'm a Bay Area kid. Just not saying it's happening, but you would think at some point in the next 7 to 10 days, Aaron would commit. What if he doesn't?
Now,
what is he waiting for?
Yeah. No, you're right. That's a good point. I just want to point out, I know we have a lot of Steelers fans in the audience. They did catch a break early, Colin. They face 3 of the 4 teams they face have quarterbacks in new spots. Justin Fields with the Jets, Sam Darnold with Seattle, and J.J. McCarthy is a rookie quarterback. That's before the bye. Cleveland also afterward. New England has a second-year quarterback in Drake May. So there is a world where Pittsburgh, if Rodgers is okay, starts out 3-1, right? That's on the table.
I would say Pittsburgh's schedule, reminiscent of last year, if you start at week 7 and Joe Burrow until the end of the season, they will only potentially have the better quarterback twice. Colts week 9 and Browns week 17. They will go in from Joe Burrow at week 7 on a massive quarterback deficit to a team that lost Najee Harris, their left tackle, and Pickens.
Yeah. So let's talk about this, and let's talk about this schedule. Listen, this whole season really does depend on whether or not Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback. And I understand them trying to say, oh, you know, because of the Jets week 1 matchup, that proves that the Steelers are getting Aaron Rodgers. But, like, you still have Justin Fields there, so you still have that drama. Also, the Steelers have to play someone week 1. And, okay, and having the Packers, like, again, there's only so many teams in the NFL. Like, the NFL has to pick teams for them to play. You know, this isn't this big, giant kind of conspiracy. It would have been a little bit more different, too. Like, first off, the NFL was really trying to do something big. Like, you would have had Aaron Rodgers at Green Bay. Because, quite frankly, playing the Green Bay Packers when you're in Pittsburgh, like, that doesn't really hit as hard. Like, Aaron Rodgers in Lambeau with a new team, like, that's something different. That's something unique. That's something more special, quite frankly. But, like, playing your old team in Pittsburgh, like, it's that doesn't, the fans aren't. You got to have the Green Bay Packers fans there at that point. So, you know, I think the NFL doesn't have necessarily any insight, but they're trying to hedge their own bets, quite frankly. And so I do think it's fair. They do probably believe that Aaron Rodgers is not going to retire, and then because I also do think that Aaron Rodgers is going to want to, he's going to want to have like probably like a big retirement moment and have everyone clapping for him and do his little retirement tour type of a thing. But listen, I mean, the Jets, right? You're talking about Justin Fields led Jets. Don't feel too great about that. This will be week 2 with Sam Darnold, new quarterback. Week 3, new head coach Drake May. Are they really grounded just yet? The Minnesota Vikings, how is JJ McCarthy settled? The Cleveland Browns, I mean, wake me up when that team is anything. And then you have the Bengals for sure. The Packers, I think, will be a good team. And then again, the Colts, are they still playing games with AR? Has Daniel Jones revamped his career and now he's Sam Darnold? I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe we'll find out. And then you have the Chargers, who I think will be a great team. And then again, obviously you play the Bengals again, and then you got the Bears, and I do think the Bears will also be a great team. At a minimum, they'll be a tough team to play as long as they're all healthy by week 12 and whatnot. The Buffalo Bills, the Ravens, we know those teams are going to be great. Then you have the Miami Dolphins. I mean, is Tyreek Hill playing? Is he actually on the field? Is he, somewhere else? I mean, who really knows at that point? I mean, it's just hard to really imagine the Dolphins being a threat, and it's versus Dolphins, so it's not at Miami, which means it's week 15, which means it's going to be kind of cold and chilly in Pittsburgh, kind of moist air. It's kind of snowy, kind of rainy. That's what Pittsburgh looks like during that time, and we know the Miami Dolphins don't look too good in that situation. So even if the Miami Dolphins are the hottest team in the NFL, wouldn't be too surprising if they become ice cold in Pittsburgh. And then the Lions, I do think the Lions will be a pretty darn good team. And then you have the Browns again, which again, wake me up when they're this special team. And then week 18, the Ravens, there's a great chance that at least one of these two teams, that the playoff seeding is kind of set, and Lamar Jackson's not even playing in that game, so it's just one of those things. So I do think the wins can be there. I do think it's tough, and I'm not predicting, oh yeah, Pittsburgh Steelers, second place team in the AFC. Quite frankly, I'm still gonna have fun with kind of going through the schedule and whatnot, but I take these predictions with a massive grain of salt, because it's just again, it's May. It's May 15th right now, and so we just have zero idea. For all we know, the Bengals defense is still absolute trash. For all we know, JJ McCarthy is so overwhelmed and is looking awful. For all we know, the Chicago Bears are the #1 team in the NFL, and they started off 13-1. It's just we got no idea, man, no idea. But I also don't want to just put this off to the side either and be oh well, we don't know, so there's no point in talking about it either. That's no fun. But I just, I think right now for the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's absolutely positively impossible to know who they are when we don't know who their quarterback is. We can't say, oh, the quarterback position is the most important position in all of professional sports, and then not have a quarterback and try to think we could say anything about the Pittsburgh Steelers. This team is wildly different whether they have Mason Rudolph or Aaron Rodgers. Even if Mason Rudolph ends up having kind of this later run at his career, again similar to that of a Sam Darnold or even a Baker Mayfield, that's fine. I'm open to all of those things, like a Geno Smith, but I'm still very confident that the team is still significantly better with Aaron Rodgers, even if he's older, because Aaron Rodgers so deeply understands how to play the game of football, how to be a quarterback, and how to win games. Say what you will about Aaron Rodgers, you can't take that away from him. I understand he's not as great as he once was, but so much of football is understanding the game. So much of playing quarterback is understanding the game, understanding what you're seeing, understanding what the offense needs to do and what the defense is trying to do. And that's why we see so many of these young quarterbacks struggle for seasons, because it's not because of their physicality's not there. It's not because their athleticism isn't there. It's not because their arm isn't there. Their legs aren't there. It's all here. It's their deep understanding of the game is not very deep. They're in the shallow end of the pool, so that it's more easy for them to get exposed by defenses, by defensive coordinators and defensive coaches. And so that is something that Aaron Rodgers at this point doesn't have to worry about. And it does matter. There is a reason why someone like a Tom Brady can still play, and even a Peyton Manning, even when his body is so far gone, that he can still have a team there and still play winning football and win a Super Bowl. Because so much of it is how deep do you understand, how to play the quarterback position? And do you truly understand what your offensive coordinator or offensive head coach is saying to you? Are you guys speaking the same language, or does there still need to be translation involved? And, Aaron Rodgers has graduated that aspect of playing quarterback many times over. So, I hope at this point Aaron Rodgers goes to Pittsburgh, because I do think it could be an interesting season, and I do think that there will be some fun games like the Jets and even the Packers, even though I still think Lambeau would be more interesting. And then I am curious to see what he looks like playing Lamar Jackson twice and Joe Burrow twice and the Buffalo Bills with Josh Allen and Caleb Williams. And, I think there's a lot of fun matchups, and I know Pittsburgh Steelers are kind of like, hey, we want to win, and I get it. But at the same time, I think with Aaron Rodgers, at a minimum, at least you get like an interesting season and an entertaining season. And I still think that there would be this feeling of hope that like, hey, we can still make a run. We can still be a pretty good team. Which, that's sometimes it's as good as a season can get, honestly, right? Especially if you're not going to be a true bona fide Super Bowl contender. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Pittsburgh Steelers schedule? Do you think it's proof that Aaron Rodgers will indeed be signing with the Steelers? And do you agree with J-Mac that they are not making the playoffs? And Dan Orlovsky also said that schedule, they're staring at 0-6 head on. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.